r/askreddit. What's something that you've never learned to do?
Do a dad. Whistle using my fingers. Always wanted to do that crap.
I can do this. I used to practice as a kid because my dad did this, and I thought it was awesome. I don't know how to whistle normally, but I can while sucking the air in instead of blowing out.
Talk to people without them talking to me first. I always end up feeling left out on stuff.
A person on Reddit said that you should ask about people's pets, because they will either talk excitedly about their pets, or they will be against pets, which leads you into another line of questioning. It's all a give and take about personal experiences. I've had success talking to people about video games, since so many people play them.
Pets is a really good one, but I'm biased since I don't game. I also don't have pets, and wow, look, you didn't even ask, but here I am volunteering the info.
Get out of bed the first time my alarm goes off.
I got an app called Alarmy and it works amazingly. It won't stop ringing until you perform a task you set for yourself, like do a puzzle or a math problem. Or what works for me, take a picture that matches an initial picture you set. I set it to a picture of a photo hanging in my hallway. So to turn off my alarm, I have to get out of bed, leave the room, turn on the hall light, and take the picture. By then, there's no going back to sleep.
Amateur.
Flirt.
Ask questions. People love talking about themselves.
Where were you between the hours of 5 and 6 p.m.? The time of the murder last night?
Tie my shoes not using bunny ears. Do not give me that rabbit hole nonsense. It makes no sense. I'll die this way.
I was really good at writing and speaking French back in school. Had aspirations to become fluent in the language. I never really followed through on those aspirations. Now I barely remember how to construct a sentence.
Omelette du fromage.
Whoa, man, I didn't know it was like that.
Study, like seriously, how to just sit and study for like several hours and do good without a breakdown every 50 seconds.
How to express anger and frustration in healthy, constructive ways. But I'm working on it.
The hardest part about being angry and frustrated is figuring out why the shitty effing thing that just went wrong for no goddamn reason happened. I mean, I did it exactly like the instructions said, and it's not effing working. Jesus Christ! I've tried 10 times and it's just not happening. This is bullshit.
As a programmer, I must tell you, there is always a reason. No matter how small or inconsequential it might seem, there is always an answer for why that goddamn piece of crap won't effing fit.
Play a musical instrument. I have a bass guitar, but I'm just not understanding it.
Look up some boss tabs for songs you like. It'll teach you how to hear your way around the fretboard.
Skate on ice, which may be my only disqualification to become of Canada.
You should be okay if you learn curling and lacrosse.
Hold the light just right for my dad.
Haha, OLLO, that was strategic failure. The sooner he got pissed, the sooner he'd send you back to whatever you were doing.
How to deal with confrontation. My dad had anger issues when I was growing up and he would scream at us. It was terrifying, and now as an adult, I don't know how to handle arguments with anyone. I just get so scared and anxious.
I'm kind of the opposite. My mum was extremely angry and screamy growing up, and now I have trouble getting into an argument without losing my temper. I don't lash out physically, and I do my best not to verbally, but a mix of a certain tone and a raised voice just put my fight or flight at an instant 10. I'm working on it, but it's so embarrassing.
Tie a tie. I'm 32 and have worn a tie about 5 times in my life and have to Google it every time.
My dad is 66. He doesn't wear a tie every day but has to for work things 2 or 3 times a month. Whenever he used to buy a new tie, he would bring it over to his dad on his next visit, and my grandpa would tie it for him, and my dad would just loosen the loop to put them on over his head, and then tighten again, and never untie them. Even when he had Alzheimer's, my grandpa still tied my dad's ties. After my grandpa passed away in 2008, he has resorted to Googling it occasionally, but mostly just avoids buying new ones. Most of his ties still have the knot my grandpa made.
Read and write good.
I heard there's a center for that, but it's kind of small.
It's not for people. It's for ants. I've always wanted to learn how to write. I write a lot for school and work, but damn, when I read other people's works, I'm constantly astounded.
Head over to /re/writing if you haven't already. The main thing you must do in order to write is write. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be done. and much of writing is rewriting.
But also read bad writing. Please don't make me do this.
I wouldn't say there's much to learn, but I am 30 years old, and this summer will be the first time I have ever mowed a lawn. My older brother always did it.
Going to sleep at a reasonable time. Been like this since I was teen, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
I swear my internal clock is at least 27 hours.
Make friendships last. Find something truly worth doing. Truly and deeply care about something or someone.
Yeah, I've moved around so many times it's hard sometimes. My girlfriend is close to people she's known since she was like 4, and my 2 best friends I see once every few years now. Doesn't get much easier as time goes on.
I really want to understand how electricity works. Like volts and amps and current and watts and all that stuff. I've read and watched videos, but it just doesn't click for me.
Try the book There Are No Electrons. It reads more like a novel than a textbook.
Swimming. Had an abusive swimming instructor who would hold me under the water if I made a mistake or stopped swimming. Since then, I am 20 and still scared of swimming because the drowning traumatized me.
I learned swimming at 30 and had some triathlon races since then, so it's never too late.
Draw! Really wanted to be an artist, but life pushed me in another direction. I still want to draw, even professionally one day, but I have no teacher and I'm extremely poor. When I was 8ish, I used to glue the tiny bit of pencil lead back onto another piece so I could use it. Didn't have paper, so I used to dumpster dive for sheets that weren't spoiled.